Quinn wondered about Vorden's ability. What could it possibly be? When they first met, Quinn's system told him Vorden tried to use an ability on him. It must have happened when they touched hands. Whatever Vorden tried to do with Quinn, it failed. If Vorden had an ice ability, surely Quinn's hand would have just frozen. Quinn didn't know his own ability yet, but he doubted it could stop elemental abilities. Plus, Vorden looked confused when they first shook hands. Clearly, he expected something else to happen. Thinking back on it, Quinn realized something else. It hadn't been just him. Vorden insisted on shaking hands with everyone. Erin refused, but Vorden still managed to touch her shoulder. At the time, Quinn thought it was strange behavior, but now it all made sense. Vorden's ability required touch. The last person he touched was Erin. It couldn't be a coincidence. With that, Quinn arrived at his final conclusion. Vorden must be able to copy people's abilities. It hadn't worked on Quinn because his ability wasn't straightforward. Still, Quinn wanted to be sure. He looked around to make sure no one was eavesdropping. Then he whispered, "Hey, Vorden. Are you able to copy other people's abilities?" Vorden smiled slyly. "That's the first time someone has figured it out so fast. How did you know? When you shook my hand, you seemed surprised that nothing happened." Vorden was impressed. He thought Quinn would have mentioned Erin's ability, but he seemed to have figured it out even earlier than that. This only made him more interested in Quinn. Quinn stared at his new friend, furrowing his brows. He had never heard about an ability book that could grant someone the power to copy abilities of others, which could only mean one thing. "Are you an original?" Vorden winked at Quinn. Still, that was answer enough for Quinn. The term originals originally meant people who displayed their abilities naturally. However, over time, the term came to represent people who received their powers from their family, not an ability book. Their ancestors were originals who decided against sharing their powers with the outside world, choosing to keep them to themselves instead. Rumors spoke of originals surpassing level 8 status. The hooded figure teleported the students to the front of the academy. They'd be staying here from now on. The academy was the tallest building in the entire city. It was easily the size of 3 hotels. 10 different teachers stood in front of the academy. When they approached, one of the teachers told them to wait until all the tests were over. Quinn fidgeted, waiting for a chance to get out of sight. He still needed to research his new powers. He also feared bullies now that his wristwatch displayed his level 1 status. He'd be better off getting out of sight before he got picked as a target. Eventually, he stood with 20 other students in front of his assigned teacher, Dell, a bespectacled, middle-aged man with blonde, curly hair. "All of you need to follow me as I take you around the school." Dell had a carefree attitude as he explained the different facilities in the school. "You guys should start to get to know each other as much as you can. After all, the people you are with now will be your classmates." Everyone started to chat as they were being shown around the school. However, Quinn noticed an annoying thing. The level 2s were trying their best to befriend the level 3s, while the level 3s attempted to do the same thing with the level 4s. Quinn and Peter appeared to be the only level 1s in the class. Without even realizing it, they had been pushed to the back of the group. Peter plodded along with his head down. It affected Peter a lot more than Quinn, but that's because Quinn already predicted this outcome during the examination. This was no different from regular school. He still looked around for his new friend. Vorden was nowhere to be found. Quinn snorted. Typical. Why would he want anything to do with me now? A moment later, Vorden's voice caught him by surprise. "There you are. Man, suddenly all those students just started jumping all over me. Next thing I know, you're gone.
Come on, let's look around together, buddy.
Quinn's mouth hung open. He considered Vorden to be a strange person, but he realized that might not be such a bad thing. Vorden finally noticed Peter next to Quinn.
You, stop being a downer and come with us.
Peter looked up and pointed a finger at himself. He looked confused. Vorden puffed out his chest.
Yes, you, Peter. Do you see anyone else besides Quinn?
The three of them continued the tour at the back of the class, while Dal led them around the school. Quinn noticed something unusual halfway through the tour. A battle arena. It had similar testing equipment to what he saw in the wasteland. Next to them were a few fighting rings for sparring. Dal guided them through their homeroom, regular classes, battle classes, sports rooms, and every other facility. Dell never failed to provide a little bit of explanation about each area of the school. However, Quinn was uninterested in most of them until they had finally reached the library.
As you can see, the library here is split into 3 floors. First-year students are only able to access the first floor. Second-year students can access the second floor. The upper floor is for authorized military personnel only.
Quinn was interested in the library because it contained books that weren't available to the public. In this place, Quinn might be able to find some information about his ability. He hoped that he'd be able to find it on the first floor. Eventually, the tour came to an end outside the dorms.
And this is where you will be living during your stay here. Once you have dropped off your things, feel free to explore the academy. There will be no lessons today. Enjoy the free time, and make sure to be in your rooms before the curfew.
Each student was handed a number written on a piece of paper. These papers displayed which room they would be staying in. Quinn noticed that Vorden was coming towards him.
Hey, Quinn! What room number did you get?
Quinn checked his paper.
Let's see. Looks like it's room 23. No way! What a coincidence! I got the same number. Seems like fate is bringing us together.
Quinn nodded at his new friend.
Maybe so.
Somewhere down the hallway, 2 students talked quickly to one another.
Whoa, what happened to you?
A student asked as he looked over to his disheveled friend.
I don't know, man. Some guy just hit me out of nowhere. He forced me to swap room numbers. Oh, man, should we try to get it back? I'm pretty sure his wristwatch said 5 on it. It's best if we just leave it alone. It's just a room after all. I don't want to start any trouble with a level 5.
The 2 students dropped the issue and continued down the hall.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.